everybody, pop art painter Jamie Roxx here in editor mode. I just wanted to take a quick second here and let you guys know that this is the holiday week in November. And it is I've been doing the show since 2013. And when you've been doing it as long as I have, you pick up on a few things. One of them, everybody's busy as far as guests go, holiday week, just how it is. And it's understandable. Anyway, so what I'm doing is playing some classic podcasts. We certainly have enough of a library to grab one, redo it, meaning in that we clean it up in editing and whatnot, and just make it a little more and convert it for YouTube and make it a little better. And that's the case with this one. This is a very important special podcast I did. It's all the way from 2016, episode 443, classic Philly soul singer, Mr. Bunny Singler. And Bunny, unfortunately, is no longer with us, but I was able to meet him, hang out with him a couple times, doing shows and whatnot. And he is just so great, and I just loved him so much. He talk about stories. A lot of people think I have interesting stories. Oh, baby. But yeah, I've always been I grew up in Detroit, so Motown, and of course that led me into Philly soul. I just love it. I love it. It's one of my favorites, and there's just something so American about it and just so relatable. Every track, everybody's been there. And if you haven't, no, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say everybody's been there. That's what makes it so great. Big fan of Philly Soul, and I got to speak with one of the main guys in that. I was very just blown away. I was fanboying a little bit during the show. I'll own that. But of course I was. I know his import to that music scene and pop culture. It goes without saying. Anyhow, here it is, folks. Like I said, episode 443, all the way back. Oh, I should say, 2016. We have, these are all available in my Patreon. We have a Patreon link on my website, of course, and you can have access to these. They're all behind that paywall, and they're nowhere else. Like, you can't find these on Spotify or Pandora or any of that, because the way we had it set up, so we could retain control over my work, is that it was on demand, in that if you searched for it in Spotify, it would come up and whatnot. But we have moved the host server. Any of that was attached before is no longer, there's nothing to be attached to. We have everything on a completely separate host server. And it's just part of the business. I saw that where podcasts were heading and some of the ramifications of that. We work real hard at this. We pay for all this equipment, all this software, everything. We don't pay guests to get guests or anything like that, but there is definitely, I've fostered relationships with PR firms and movie studios and record labels and all kinds of, and everything in between. It's very important to me to retain the rights to my work. And that's just the way it is. Same thing on our merch business, on our merch store. All those people are like, man, you spend a lot of money on licensing paintings. Of course I do. I don't want somebody just grabbing that image, slapping it on a lunchbox and selling it. I worked hard for that. If you work, you deserve to be paid for it. I'm a firm believer in that. And that's worked out pretty well for me. Same thing with the podcast. We work real hard on these, so you guys will enjoy them and have something to listen to and whatnot. And I really enjoy doing them. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, somebody who's known me a long time, they're like, you've always been a real social animal. But when you moved to Florida, which is going on 15 years now, they were worried about me. They said, they knew that I hung out in a lot of nightclubs and stuff out in California. And folks, I didn't hang out in nightclubs because I was Mr. Cool or anything like that. No, that's where people that were hanging out that were buying my art. If you're going fishing, you go where the fish are. That's how that is. And that's how that game is played. So that's all I was doing, really. But when my friend said, when you moved to South Florida, we thought, hey, there goes May. Mail must be here or something. Anyhow, they said, "Are you going to hang out in nightclubs in Miami?" And I'm like, "No, man, I got a girl now. That's how you lose a girl, hanging out in nightclubs. Come on." But I started doing the podcast, and I do a couple of these shows a week. And really, that's a big part of my social interaction with people. And it's really a positive thing because I'm hanging out with people that are doing stuff or have done stuff, the real deal type folks. And that's just inspiring to me. You know what I mean? I never have a day where I'm going, "Oh, I don't know if I can do it today. I don't know if I'm feeling it today." You know what? Because of all these people I hang out with all the time doing the podcast, they're doing it today. So I got to get off my butt and do it. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. And that's probably a big reason why I've done this thing for 12 years. It's not in its present form, it's evolved. We do video now. Up until 2021, we did not. Actually, you know what? I'm off on that. I think that's more akin to 2024 now that I think about it. Yeah, because I wasn't doing video during the pandemic. I'm getting old, everybody. I'm getting old. I'm losing track of time. Anyway, yeah, so we recently, within the last couple of years, started doing the video. And that's all my wife, Danny. She talked me into it. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. The great thing about video is we can have anybody on from anywhere on the planet and on how it's currently set up. So that's pretty cool. With the old audio show, we couldn't do that. We couldn't do that. So the guests had to call in, and nobody's going to call in from Germany at the phone rates they were charging for an hour. Ain't going to happen. Didn't happen. So we were limited to North America back when we were doing audio only. We are not now. So that's pretty fun. Anyhow, I guess this is a little bit half of an update as well on the podcast. And everything's good with that. We're moving right along. But we're doing classic podcasts the week of holiday week here in November. So this is one of those. I had a real good time doing it. Here it is, without further ado, Mr. Bunny Singler.